So today is the 35th day of my of my 36 days of Iron Pentacle challenge. For anybody who's been following, I've gone through 5 whole weeks, 7 days per point on the Iron Pentacle. Quick recap for anybody who isn't aware. The Iron Pentacle is a device within fairy tradition where you actually do this shadow work on yourself through these 5 points listed on your body in the shape of a pentacle in order to basically become a better person, to become a better witch, to become a better everything. So the 5 points are sex in your head, pride in your left foot, self in your left hand, power in your right hand, and passion in your left foot, completing the pentagram. Today marks the end of my week of sex, so the point in your head, and I wanted to make a video about it. I feel like I'm probably going to make a video about all 5 of the points because I've already made one about power, and now this one's about sex, so I kind of figured I'm a completionist. Hey, let me drink some of this tea. It's better now. It's not as hot. The top things that kind of surprised me during this week was, well, I mean, it didn't surprise me that I was particularly randy this week, which I think it's for obvious reasons, of course I am. What did surprise me was how instantly extremely creative I was. The moment I woke up starting this week, it's like my whole being knew that it was sex week. And so it knew that it wanted to create. All of a sudden, every day, I had a new creative idea. I had an idea for a comic I want to write. I'm now doing all this crazy stuff with Ferifyre videos and all that, as well as going forward and being creative through writing that I want to do. It's just like every day there was like a new thing just popping out of my mind that I wanted to make. And I'm genuinely surprised that happened because I wasn't sure what else was going to occur with this week, besides the obvious. Besides having sex. I didn't know what else there was I could do, and this is what just like flowed out of me. It was like instantaneous. And I firmly believe it had something to do with the fact that sex point is in your mind. And in your mind, that's where you create everything first. That is the first point of creation is in your talk or in your mind right here, right? And so, of course, it coincides with that. Looking back on it now, it's so clear, it's so obvious, right? But honestly, it just took me by surprise. So I instantly got so creative, and so like my creative juices were just like this wildfire within me, and now that's just all I can think about. That's all I am is making things and create. And then it all hit me that of course sex and creative expression are one, because when you have sex, biologically the purpose of having sex is to procreate, right? It's the whole reason it exists, right? Is to create little versions of us. And so I'm really happy that we've moved beyond just procreation sex, and we are accepting, much more accepting of other forms of sex just for pleasure, sex for spiritual work, sex for magic, sex for feeling an intimate connection with your partner. And I think that is a 100% valid reason to have sex, and that is something that I do on a regular basis. Because it's good all around. And so it occurred to me that, yeah, obviously the original physical, biological reason for having sex is to create life. And the next best thing in terms of creating life is creating yourself. And when you create yourself, you are artistically expressed. You artistically express yourself. It's part of how I come to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the self-actualization. It all interrelates in my mind, is that we are designed to create. we are, that's what we're here for, is to create. And I thought that was extremely powerful. And it was really cool. And on top of all that, on top of all the creation, the sex for pleasure, both solo and with my partner, beyond that, I also had the pleasure of performing a sex spell where I intentionally went in knowing that it was going to be utilizing sexual energy to create the change that I wanted to see. And I did that day one. I was thinking I was going to do it at the end of the week, but it didn't end up happening that way. It was really, really interesting. It was more about beginning the week with a sex spell, with a spell to move forward and to create ourselves in a much more positive way. The only other thing that I'm going to be doing this week is during the sex week is I'd like to rededicate myself to my goddess, the star goddess, who is the main goddess in fairy tradition. And I'd like to utilize that energy to reconnect with her and really get that connection remade. Again, because, I mean, I talk to her basically daily. During my morning meditations, I got a 45-minute morning meditation that I do all that in. So I was genuinely surprised in the end by how this ended up. Actually, I was very surprised by how every week ended, if I'm going to be honest. It's just running the Iron Pentacle has been so interesting, and has really helped me in ways that I couldn't have articulated prior to starting this month and a half. But I feel like tomorrow, probably one of the things I want to do is definitely make a video about the circle of the Iron Pentacle, which is the 36th day in the challenge. So definitely look forward to that coming out eventually. And with that, I bid you adieu, and remember, a witch bows to no one, not even the gods. Peace.